What's up, guys? Welcome to round 2 of the PLDA Desert Launch held in Mesquite, Nevada. This is the mecca of long drive. I have Anthony Thomas there on my right. Justin James is also in this grouping. I apologize, I don't remember the fourth. Opening this set with 150.3 miles an hour, 218.3 ball speed. As you guys remember, in round 1, it was right around that 146, 147 mark, so it was nice to see me kind of step it up. At this point in the day, I should be loose. Hit about 70 balls already. This is one of my better sets of the day. Okay, so I throw this into my top 2 sets of the day. Had 3 club head speeds over 150 miles an hour and 3 ball speeds over 220. So, and that actually, it missed 1 ball. So that was out of 5 balls. So one of my better sets here. This one was absolutely murdered. Gave it my version of the of the Will Hogue wave with a little finger point. A lot of times when you're up there, you don't even realize what you do. You just hit one, and the excitement kind of takes over, and you do whatever. So when you go back and you watch it, you kind of laugh at it. Now, what's interesting to note is I ended up losing this set by 1 yard. Okay, so that was 150.8 miles an hour, 223.9 ball speed, my fastest ball speed of the day. So I lost this set by 1 yard, and I was actually teeing up about a foot behind where we are allowed to tee up. Okay, so from the furthest point forward, and believe it or not, in long drive, it comes down to 6 inches or a foot, a lot more than people think. And it was at this point I finally decided, like, I'm going to make sure I use as much of the tee box as possible going forward. And it's funny because right before the set started, I said to myself, I said, what if it comes down to a yard? And I said, all right, well, I'll just let it go. Hopefully it doesn't come down to a yard in this set. I'll correct it next time. And sure enough, it came down to a yard. So going forward, wanted to make sure that I was using as much of the tee box as possible. And I know better. It was just being lazy, to be honest with you. Opening set 2, I went from one of my better sets of the day to one of my not so better sets of the day, if that's correct. Wind started howling a little bit more from left to right, so I started aiming down that left side, and at some point I kind of overcompensated and hit a few double crosses, as you'll see. If you guys could do me a favor and smash that like button and leave a comment below, it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and so I greatly appreciate that. 148.9 club speed, so you can see speeds are really good. Obviously, snap hook doesn't do much. This set, I remember kind of just bare. I didn't get a good one in play. I remember hitting one high off the face right there, and it was in play, carried 375, but it wasn't a good ball. Now, the interesting about that is you'll see that launched at 17.3. If you guys look closely at my launch angles from round 1 and round 2, they were anywhere from about 8 to 12 degrees, which has pros and it has cons. Okay, the bad part is on this day, okay, where the grid was wet and the grass is long, it turned into more of a carry contest. And when you're launching that low, the ball is not going to carry as far, okay? Now, the good news is if this was a hard grid, launching it lower, that ball is going to have a ton of run, which historically Mesquite has kind of been known for a run grid from the people that I've talked to in the past. And so the other good thing it could be good with is it into the wind day. Okay, so into the wind and a firm grid are both 2 situations where low launch could be good. Obviously not very good when you got to carry the ball as far as you can. So I kind of have 2 options to make going forward, and I'll do a video on those in terms of getting my launch angle up. But it's definitely an adjustment I want to make going into the second event here coming up in April. Now, the reason I started launching it lower, I've never really been a low launch player. I've always launched it, anywhere from 13, 14, 15 degrees. And the the big thing was this off season, I actually went to a stronger grip. So by default, that driver is going to have less dynamic loft at impact, and it's going to reduce the launch angle. So I think, with any change, anytime you're making a change, there's usually another change that goes with it to create a matchup. And in this case, the change of going to a stronger grip is going to have to force me to adjust somewhere else. And I got some cool ideas around that I think you guys will enjoy. You do see 223.4 ball speed on that last one. Anytime you hook one, it's generally going to be, a lot faster ball speed. But really, it's the balls that are hit straight that count, in my opinion. Just some more double crosses there. Like I said, I mean, you can see those blades out in the grid starting to pick up. They was pretty left to right. And like I said, I think naturally I just started aiming a little bit more left, and then got some of the double crosses in there. But really at this point was just kind of cruising through this set. I had another round where I hit a good ball and I lost by 1 or 2 yards. It was very close, but it was really never in any danger. Just kind of was trucking along and did what I needed to advance, which is nice. Anytime you don't have the pressure on you, even though I look forward to those situations, I look forward to them in the match play, not in the early rounds. So anytime you could get through without much pressure, that's always a good thing. Opening set 4 here. Like I said, was feeling good, aiming down the left side. You can kind of see where my body lines are. This one was hit very good. It barely missed out on the right. So 148.1, 219.2. And now that I think about this, I remember, so the difference of round 1 to round 2 was because sets happen a lot quicker and there's only 4 rounds in round 1. I actually didn't go back to the tee box. So that's where one of the things of having a longer break and kind of starting, and when I mean tee box, I mean the practice tee box. So basically not going back to the tee box left me with a lot more downtime. So in round 2, I was timing it a lot more nicely of going straight from the range to the tee box, and you can see the speeds being a lot faster out of the get-go. 150, 222.2. So as you guys saw in round 1, only had one ball speed over 220. So the club head speeds and ball speeds are a lot better. Mainly was just finding the center of the face more. We did check the driver. The driver was heating up a little bit too. So we used a bulge and roll gauge to kind of check to see where the driver was moving to. So it did move a little bit for the better. This ball was absolutely hammered. 149.6, 221.4, 348 carry. As like we said, these balls should be carrying a lot further. If that launch angle was up a lot higher, it would have carried probably 20, 30 yards further, in my opinion. But they're still very good. They're hit very good. Launching a little higher there. Really, what I'm looking for is I like to launch, ideally anywhere from about 16 to 18 launch with anywhere from about 1800 to 22 RPMs of spin is kind of the window I'm looking for. You can see that that's well below that 8.2. Now, different situations call for different things. Obviously, downwind it's more conducive to launching it a lot higher. Into the wind, you want to launch it lower. So I think being able to be versatile and be able to adjust to different situations could make things very interesting this year. 161.4 club head speed. I can guarantee you that's not correct. Sometimes you'll get misreads like that on TrackMan. Typically, if it's hit low on the face, this was a another one of my really good sets here. And the cool thing was, you know, this deep into the event, speeds were still high. 149.8, 221. Sometimes you'll see guys start off hot and then kind of fizzle out. With the new format this year, it does require a lot of hitting in day one. That's something that I've addressed in my practice, is making sure that, you know, not only from a speed standpoint, but the endurance to be able to keep that speed up is there to be able to last throughout a round. This ball was close. This ball might have stayed in down the left side. I can't remember. 148, 220. Last summer, I topped out around 154 miles an hour. 151.9, 223.6. That ball was absolutely roasted. Last summer in June, I topped out 154 miles an hour doing a hitting exhibition. Now, the thing about that was I gassed out very quickly in this set, in that hitting exhibition, and the point was, once I hit 154 miles an hour, I didn't keep those speeds up throughout the day. Now, as you guys will see on this next ball, I actually hit 153 miles an hour, which was my fastest recorded in competition. Okay, obviously not my fastest ever, but the thing I liked about this day compared to last summer was the speeds were a lot more sustainable there. So you can see that 153, 223.5. So that was smoked right up Main Street. So yeah, so I was happy to see that a lot more sustainable speeds. That goes to show that, you know, the training and the preparation is getting very close. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment below. We'll see you next time.